If you're looking for a can't take your eyes away from show to watch, Transplant should be on your list. Hamza Haq stars as a Syrian doctor whose battle-tested skills earn him a job at a top Canadian hospital. But it's not an easy road. Take a look.
You're from Syria. Why did you come to Canada?
There's a civil war there.
And we took you in. You're a refugee. What are your plans here? Do you have an education?
I'm working hard to build a life.
What were you doing in that restaurant?
I already told you, I work there.
Yeah, you did say that. But after everything else I've seen from you, why should I believe you?
I wasn't driving that truck.
But you know who was.
No, I don't.
All right, and Hamza is joining me now. Hamza, good to see you. How are you?
No, thanks for having me.
I have to say that I am loving the show. I watched the first 3 episodes. You've got a fan in me already. But so you started as a consultant, right, to help kind of craft the character, and then all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, this is my role. This is me.
I mean, it wasn't. I don't like. I mean, I definitely am that arrogant, but like, I definitely didn't. I wasn't that brazen with saying that. Like, I was one of many consultants that was brought that were brought in. I've worked with Joseph before to flesh out a character on another show, and he invited me on this one to just talk about like what's it like being a brown guy and everything like that. And we're grateful to have that, that input. And then yeah, a little bit later, I was just like, oh, by the way, like, if you ain't got anybody else in mind, like,
yeah, I mean, if you don't put yourself in the ring. You know what I mean? Like, that opportunity might not come. So you got to do those things. Tell us about creating Bashir and what you did to kind of build that character and where you pulled from.
The writing itself is just very good. Like, so much of what I had to bring was already written down. But just having conversations with all the Syrian refugee consultants that they already had on deck. You know, we went too far in one direction and then we toned it back, and then we kind of fine-tuned it to be both accurate in its representation, but also palatable for audiences. Which I'm not sure if I like completely agree with that, but I understand it. My family immigrated to Canada, so just trying to draw from those experiences of what it feels like to move to another country and trying to adjust a little bit, and also just like trying to be honest about what it's like being like a visible minority and a Muslim.
At a time when visibility and representation is so critical, what does it feel like to be leading this show right now?
I mean, it's awesome, like it's always such a, like, what the conversation I think generally is just such a double-edged sword, like it's just, yeah, cool. Like I'm representing, Muslims and people of color, but like, I'm also like I'm not the best Muslim, and nor am I a Syrian refugee and everything like that. So I have to, you just have to work hard to make sure that you do, when given the opportunity, you just do justice to the story you're telling. And this is a very specific story that we hope on an emotional level can relate to everybody who's gone through something similar, Muslim, Syrian or not.
Medical dramas, they usually have doctors on staff kind of telling you what to do. And what have you learned through this process?
How ill-suited I would be to do it in real life. I could probably do a fair couple stitches. I practice that quite a bit, so I feel like I could do that. Like, I should not, I've said this before, I'll say it again, I should not be trusted with being, like, don't come to me as if you would a doctor. Like, hey man, I've got this lump on my, like, I don't know what that is.
I got to ask you about the power drill then. Is that like a real thing? Could that actually work?
No, that's a real thing. Yeah, to relieve like air pressure, like when there is a internal hemorrhaging. You see it with like milk cartons or anything like that. You know what I mean?
You
like,
need to open another side. Yeah.
Yeah, to like it's basically the same. It's basically the same principle. Even on the day, like at the stunt, I didn't even do that myself. I was not comfortable. Like, I'm not holding this power drill that close to like John's head. Like, I will not do that. So
there's a lot of medical dramas out there, lots of them. So what is it that's setting this show apart? What do you think?
I think Joe did a very smart thing he wanted to tell the story of a Syrian refugee, but he gave it the context of a medical drama, which is so beloved. And we kind of trick people into watching a human story about refugees and displacement and everything. But you show up for the medical drama. You show up for that, and by the end of it, you're just like, wow, man, I guess this is a perspective, to which we haven't been exposed before. And I think that's what sets it apart.
Yeah, that would be a win right there. Well, if you ask me, it's going to be a huge hit. You got a fan in me already. I love the show. And you can catch Transplant Tuesdays at 10 p.m. on NBC. Hamza, thank you so much for joining me today, and congrats on the show.
Thanks so much for having me.